so that I can do some things. Yeah, welcome to the Days of Green. Our ID department took a break this week, so we're having to kind of just wing it. We're going through our story of Zira's gameplay. Basically, that she is heading into the Underdark to go after the drow that killed her people. She is from the Fire Plane, and she has two people that's going along with her. One is a goblin, and the other one is kind of like a beast-born-esque creature. Okay? Um, and yeah, so you're going down there and stuff, and we're going to do a quick kind of explanation. So basically, both of these people that she's going with is not very trustworthy, not like the best, but nobody can be trusted really in the Underdark. We shall see how it all plays out. But basically, she has to go down there. She has to go and revenge to
Oh yes.
she's been going to Menza, so we'll see how well that goes. It's a long travels, and right now they have gathered into this room, this chamber, just before hitting the Underdark. Okay, so they are at the gates of mouth of Methdoom. Okay, and before they entered in there, they found a nice stop called the Sesame Stool, and they also met a fella by the name of Simak. And there they were able to. Do you want to just go ahead and fill it in and take over for me?
well, we were able to get a rest, which was good.
Yes.
Yeah. Our we've got chambers, kind of, sort of. I think our plan at this point is to make a plan, figure out where we're going. There's been some interesting revelation about Kwando, and that the Drow have somebody who is near and dear to him, and he's been trying to get him back.
You do not know fully.
Okay, well, trying to get this person back.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, I would be quite the prize worth trading. So we'll see how that all goes. But at this point, that has now become a new goal for Zira. Whereas I was once bent out on revenge, now it has become a rescue mission because I have a hero complex. Yeah.
She doesn't go down there all by herself and just try to fight them and kill them all.
Yeah, I was.
All the people in Menza.
Yeah.
But then she got her butt whipped by the spiders, and then she slowly realized.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So this should be super fun. Let me just go ahead and fix something real quick. Oh, not you. You. So there we go. Go. There's a couple things. Okay. When you were inside the Sesame Stool, you noticed a couple beast-esque creatures, humanoids, that had made comments in your direction. Mm-hmm. Now, basically, in Sesame Stool, it was a bunch of just brutes and just the least liked kind of groups and stuff.
Yes.
They're very kind of traders. They trade people, I would assume. Trade, to the Underdark.
Yes.
So basically, she had to go somewhat in cover when she went incognito when she went into the Sesame Stool. Okay, but there were three fellas that seemed to appear to have noticed your presence and had made comments towards you. Okay.
Unfortunately, I've got 2 counts against me. 1 for being a fire genasi and 2 for being a female. So, yes.
Yep.
Hopefully, what's his name? I'm gonna write it down.
Who, Sesame?
Is that his name?
Seamuck.
Seamuck, yes.
Yeah, Seamuck.
Seamuck. I don't have
if I have a picture of him, Seamuck.
I'm not as good at notes as some other members of our group adventure party.
Trying to do a better job of sharing our pictures and stuff. As you guys can see, this is what Sesame Stool kind of looks like. The bar-esque kind of place, and then it has stairs that go into like tented areas for staying. So yeah, you guys were able to give in. Seamuck gave you guys a private room for whatever you guys needed to do, and basically they needed to figure out a plan of how they wanted to go to Manzabaranzan. Okay.
No, it's fine. It
Um,
came flying out, but
Gotcha.
like it doesn't have a hole like most of these other pencils do. So
Yep.
forgive me while I try to load my pencil.
So they have a private room to now go through some of their notes and stuff and figure out what the plan is, as well as to kind of figure out the motives of the characters in this circumstance. Okay, so Zira is pretty much in this room with these two. It's like a map room, sort of. Okay, and then you have Kwando. He is not very trustable, as we know that he tried to poison you originally because he needed you to trade
Right.
to the Drow when he got to the mouth of Methdoom.
But the fact that he has now made this apparent
Mm-hmm.
lets me know that maybe some tides have shifted. I don't quite know why he is suddenly like letting me in.
Mm-hmm.
Because I wouldn't let Toggle kill him earlier.
Yeah, Togolo is kind of confused and upset and stuff, and then Kwando kind of you guys all enter into this room, and then Simok says, "Good luck to you in whatever you guys are plotting or planning." And then he kind of goes to close the door, and he looks down the hall, and then he looks back at you and he says, "I'm afraid your disguise isn't really working that well." And then he closes the door, and then you can hear him walk off. Oh, and he locks it too for you, just in case.
He locks it from the outside? Oh. Well, yeah.
Kwando kind of like raises and says to you, "Don't worry, I told him what time we will be finished here, but we need to be quick."
Yeah, no kidding. So, Kwando. I sit down at the table.
The crate.
The crate.
You go down at the desk and stuff. You can see what appears to be a map. On the table, it's very shrewd. Yeah.
Yeah, map of the Underdark. I actually have a map of the Underdark.
Gotcha.
Okay, so I'm gonna pull it out. I'm gonna unfurl it, and I'm gonna say, okay, what's the plan? How do we get in without being totally destroyed? Can we even get in at this point without being totally destroyed?
Toggle all the while is kind of looting around through things and stuff and trying to look for something to eat. He's not really paying much mind.
Aren't they like half drunk?
No, Toggle's kind of like not.
Is he sobering up?
Yeah, he wasn't too drunk and stuff on the last adventure, on the last circumstance.
Gotcha.
He's kind of making his way through. Kwando kind of walks up to you and he points and he says, "This is where our end will come. We are over at Sesame Stool. We'll come down, and the Drow are waiting for us right here. They have an outpost before we get into Methdoom. That's where they collect all the slaves, and they take them straight to Menzaberenzin through a route that I do not know of. I have never been into Menzaberenzin. I've never have gone anywhere farther than Methdoom."
It's true, X-Bolt. He says, if only there were stealthy tiefling paladins to sneak in. Yes, yes. We could use a stealthy...
Well armored.
Yes.
Yes.
True, 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 true.
I actually played with a fella who actually had armor that appeared when he wanted it to and disappeared when he needed it. Yeah.
Take some notes.
Yeah, take some notes. X-Bolt, if you play as a paladin, your armor should be disappearing so you have stealth roll. But then the person rolled really bad and screwed up for all of us.
No.
Yeah.
So, never mind. It looks like you can...
It's not about your armor disappearing or making a lot of noise. It's about how well you roll your dice. Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Yep. He says, "The first part of our issue is just the fact that in the mouth of the Methdoom is where the Drow are waiting. Nobody gets through without passing through the Drow. First, we have to figure out how to get past them."
Okay.
There we go. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. We totally just lost it. That's what we get for trying to add more and more things.
Okay. Yes. OBS crashed, so...
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna double check.
Yep. And let me double check the...
I don't hear any music. Oh, there it goes. Okay.
Yeah,
We're
I should
good.
be able to hear. Yep, sorry about that, guys.
So sorry.
Yep, I don't think we're running on Twitch anymore. It really, we'll see how that is. Yeah, we are. No, we're frozen.
Yeah, it looks like we are frozen on Twitch.
Here we go. It's time learning. Yeah, you know, and I was watching somebody saying like your first streams are not going to be the best, and it's like a growing process, and it's like okay.
So how do you?
Stance. Basically, I don't have it open on here at all. It's not showing that option. It just totally removed itself.
Yeah.
You might have to just close out the that one. I'll leave it for now, and we'll kind of look into it. Probably has to do with something.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll just get rid of Twitch for right now.
Yes. Let's go back into this, and then I can always share it later on something else.
Okay. Fun times.
Yeah.
Fun times.
Let's focus on everything. So this is good, right?
Did it fix the lag? I don't think so. Darn it.
No. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So, sorry about that. The quick mix-up. Yeah. He says, yeah, once we reach the mouth is gonna be our death, our doom. They're gonna take you. They're gonna ward me, whatever I need to be warded, if I present you. And then they're gonna take you far away, and you will not make your way out of the situation. The Drow's route is very dangerous, and they have a secure system in keeping you under control throughout the whole process. So, that's the first thing we have to figure out.
It's hard to get through all that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean...
The main thing is the mouth of the entrance and stuff. There are Drow waiting, and they will...
Are there always Drow there waiting? Like...
This is their outpost. They have an outpost here. Yes.
I mean, do a lot of people try to sneak in?
Through Methdoom?
For that?
The only way that you would be able to cross through is if you were a local of Methdoom. If you were the type of people that they are, which you are not. Yeah. They are very like probably, let's see, they'd be like furry-ass creatures, similar to himself. Okay?
Okay.
He might be able to somewhat pass going through to the city of
And a goblin wouldn't be able to?
No.
That's surprising, considering that they are, like, native.
Mm-mm.
No? Not a lot of goblins down there?
Not in this sector. Not in this section. So basically this is the city parts and stuff where these certain creatures live. Okay? There might be somewhat of a mixture. But whatever mixture there is, they are pretty much slaves and stuff. I hate to get much into it, a lot of it, the slave stuff, but, you know what I mean? It's the Underdark. I can't avoid it.
It could be a good disguise, though.
Yeah, it could be.
Because if we've got Kwando, and he could basically have us as his slaves. I would just have to make sure that I have a good cover that would not let like any of my body really show.
That's the first part. If we can get past there, so what you're basically saying is that if we kind of cover up you and stuff and present ourselves as me carting you across the way to Methdoom, that might be a possibility. Okay, that's the first thing that we had to get through. The next part is whether or not we can find a way to get onto the road of the Drow. It's a very dangerous road that has many outposts that goes along the way. There is a city not too far along the way that can help us out. However, if we take the main road from Methdoom, we can go and pass through some of the major cities, and we should be pretty safe. But once we get to Dravanbi, Dervanti, then we will reach the main gate of Mensberenzen, and there we will have our most difficulty. So,
Gotcha.
it's up to you. I have reasons of my own. I have only present this information to get your thoughts. I will tell you what I think and what I feel, but in the end, I leave it up to you. He kind of chuckles. Tago kind of is what's calling, and he's saying, he says, Tago's like, the route is, the draw route is not a good route. You're better off going the main road. I know a lot of people down that road. And a lot of the cities in there that can help us.
Okay, well that's good. Kwando, you have been down here, I'm assuming more than once. I have got zero knowledge of the Underdark. And I'm beginning to realize just how in over my head I am. So you tell me. What do you think we should do?
Well, the question is if we have enough to do what you want to do. I know what I want to do.
I already know that there is not going to be enough to do what I want to do. Based on what I've just seen coming down here, we've barely scratched the surface, and from what I'm understanding, that was the easy part.
He kind of looks at the door because he heard a noise of like a rattling of the handle. Okay? And then he kind of then looks back at you and he says, continue.
So I think we should focus on taking care of your issue for now.
Shouldn't have to worry about your voice. This room is pretty well soundproof.
Gotcha. Anyway, let's make this a stealth intel mission for mine, and let's rescue whoever it is we need to rescue for you. A small team, we could probably get in and out, hopefully. I know I'm not going... There's no way that we are going to be strong enough to take on an entire drow family. But if we can figure out where their house is located within the main city and plan out an attack, then maybe I can gather troops and be able to exact my revenge later. I'm willing to play the long game. I'm not stupid.
He kind of steps back a little bit and stuff, and then he kind of is pondering. He then says, we may need somebody though. And if we keep on the main road, we won't be able to get that person that we need. He says, in the outpost, I'm sure that there is somebody that might be able to help us just past the mouth. But we need to take them.
Take them forcefully?
Not the drow. And then he looks back at you. Somebody that is held by the drow, that is from Mensberenzen.
Gotcha.
Do you know what I mean?
A slave?
Correct. If we can get somebody from that outpost who has been from Mensberenzen, they might be able to give us more intel as we get closer and closer to Mensberenzen. Now, will they be willing to travel
back in after we break him out? Oof, that's a hard one, isn't it?
And then he kind of turns to you and he says, but he doesn't look at you, he says, we have to threaten them with death.
Why?
Well, they travel with us. They will be safe until they get to Mensberenzen's gate. But if they choose to turn and go back through Lagadive, the drow count the losses. They will hunt them down. They would have assumed that he went up Lagadive. and not back in.
Well,
But then we also would have to worry about the drow searching in both directions.
yes. I mean, that seems like a risk. No matter what they decide to do. I mean, we could only hope that if he does decide to try to leave and they catch him, that he will lie about how he got free. But wouldn't that actually make it more dangerous for them to be with us?
He says, let me explain this to you. So basically, if we go in and we steal somebody, a slave of theirs in the outpost, they will assume, first of all, that they have gone up into Lagadive and out.
Correct.
They're trying to escape back into the mid-dark. Assuming that they are not from the Underdark. If you will stay in the Underdark, the drow will eventually find you. They have their hands in every place.
Okay.
But they will assume they went into that they're going into Lagadive. They will chase after them until a point when they realize there's no being strong enough to go this far. And that's when they will turn back. And they will have to then figure out where this slave has gone. And assuming it has gone back into the Methdoom. And we may just be out of Methdoom just as they figure that out. Okay. We will have enough time to take this person through the Methdoom and through the remaining cities. They will be our guide and our direction. We will glean the information about Menzmorenzen.
Correct.
Now, if they're willing to go with us into Menzmorenzen, that's their choice. But if they go back into any of the cities, it won't be long before they will be killed. And if they choose not to go with us and they choose to try to go back through Lagadive, they will be met by the drow.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I mean. I don't mean to threaten their lives.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah.
Gotcha. I like that idea. It's good.
Like, if you don't come with us, you're gonna die. We just saved your life, but
this is the way that they operate in this world.
Well, I mean, it's kind of the way that it operates in our world too. Well, sort of, kind of. Yeah.
All right then. So, did you have any other questions?
When is the best time to do this?
Well, there's no night or day in the Underdark.
No, but there must be sleep and rest periods. There is still a rhythm of life.
Correct. Go ahead and roll for that. Might as well start rolling. Rolling. Yes. Go ahead and roll for influence, maybe, or knowledge, or whatever you want to use, guys. So basically, you might actually even be rolling into Kwando and his. I'm not giving you any buffs. I'm only going to allow you to keep your buffs for what you know. But hopefully, Kwando will be able to help you in gathering information of when the best.
Well, I rolled a 15 for Underdark.
15 for Underdark.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. That might be just enough.
Oh, no way.
Yep. That might be enough.
Just enough.
Yeah. He lets you know that all of the trades that take place and stuff happen around a certain time, and then all of a sudden once they get through it, they kind of shuffle all of the people into the cells and stuff of the outpost.
So a lot of stuff going on, a lot of confusion, huh?
Yes, there's a lot of action going on and stuff. Once they've collected everybody and stuff, then they kind of take all the people that they have acquired, and then they take them all, and so there is a lot of shuffling about and stuff of the people who have done trades. So a lot of the catchers of Lagadive, I would call them. Basically, what Kwando does, he catches people, catches things, brings them down to the Underdark, and trades them for the drow. But these catchers will come, they'll collect their whatever they collect from it, and then they collect their stuff, and then they kind of start heading back and stuff. So there's be a lot of mixtures of things happening. If you can catch it at the very end of it, you might be benefit from it.
Okay, here's a question.
Yeah, go for it.
Do the residents of Methdoom and, like, say, a catcher, would they ever be acquiring slaves there? Or is it like a bounty hunter where they just bring somebody in and take the treasure or whatever, you know?
Good question.
Because if it's not unusual for catchers or residents to go in and, you know, get additional slaves or whatnot, then it would be easier for us to nab somebody in the general chaos and have them be part of our thing, you know. And like, yeah, Toggle and I could pretend to be slaves that he has, and he has acquired another one.
So basically what you're trying to do is, all the while this is taking place, where they're taking in those slaves, you're trying to slip into them, be a part of them. It's probably not. But
No.
And then kind of break your way out of it.
Like, what we're looking at is that, as they say, okay, you know, trading is done for the day or whatever, and everybody's kind of getting shipped and moved around.
Yes.
Like,
let me see if I can draw it out a little bit better to get what it's called.
We're gonna be kind of on the outskirts waiting for the queue, and then we're gonna kind of zip in really quick.
Yeah.
And
so,
just try to like swipe, like have our group kind of mingle with a different group and just swipe somebody really quick, and then, you know, as people disperse and break apart, we just kind of disperse our way.
Okay, so here you guys are. Okay. And then here is the groups of catchers. And then here is the drow. I'm going to put them as like a double. Okay, a section of here, a section here, and probably where they hold all the slaves as well. Okay, this is what happens. You bring you go through here. You either pass through to Methdoom, the city of, or you do your trades with the drow. They keep your slaves, and then once they have gone through the line for the trades, then they take them and they go, leaving a drow to the gate. And these people the catchers, then collect whatever they need to collect, and then they kind of leave, or they kind of recuperate whatever they need.
Well, that's what I'm curious of, is like, do the catchers ever take slaves with them? Like, they come
there is in some ways, yes,
to get a new slave
to trade.
So like they're coming in maybe empty-handed, but they want to take somebody with them. You know what I'm saying?
Good question.
So like, if you've got, yeah, I can't read. So like, say we've got the trader here, right? And they come in and they want to purchase a slave and then leave with
trade. Yeah, so they can make fair trades and stuff. Okay, so basically what the drow do, I believe, is that they will trade you somebody of worth to you. You know what I mean? So usually what they'll do is they'll give you somebody back of your tribe or of your people if they've taken somebody of yours. You know what I mean? So if you
yeah, what if you don't have another person to trade? What if you just have an object?
If it's an object worth value, yes, correct. They would be willing to trade. But a lot of the people that they do trade, though, I don't know, because then it'd be an easy, like, here's a guy who knows all about Manzaranzan.
Yeah. Well, see, and that's another thing, too. Like, if these are all slaves that traders have brought in, collectors have brought in,
yeah,
and they're heading into Mezabaranzan, then they've never actually been there. So that would indicate that the drow would bring some of those slaves back with them, but why would they?
They wouldn't, probably. They wouldn't bring what's called and stuff. They probably keep them there, and then they see what they can get worth from other civilizations around. Maybe they might come and stuff, and they might trade out with them. Or mainly it's Methadone. Methadone, the city of Methadone, those people might come and they might trade out with them from whatever they get from the Lager Dive. So whatever slaves they bring into from Lager Dive, they might be like, hey, I want to
Right.
trade for a new slave, and I'm willing to give that. You know what I mean? Something like that.
So the odds of us actually finding someone who's been into the city are almost zero. Because the drow probably wouldn't actually trade a slave like that because they have seen the inside, right? And they don't want people like saying, "Oh yeah, here I'll sell you this slave that's about ready to fall apart because we've worked into the bone." But they know the layout and they know everything. So I think I just.
I know you did. You totally did. I was like, this sounds cool. This is exciting. And then what's
the logic?
Yeah.
I logic.
Pretty much like what we were like trying to. I was like, oh, this would be cool for us, because usually in our games we don't ever sit down and map out like, hey, what is the possibilities? And what's the plan? What's the adventure that we want to take? And this is pretty much what it is. Because I for my wife, I was like, yep, these are all adventures. Going through each of all this, finally getting to men's present is all an adventure. And it should be fun, but I like the idea of you having to get somebody from the outpost.
I mean, I like the idea too. I'm just trying to find the logic of it.
I know.
Unless
you know
the
what?
drow have personal slaves that they use when they're traveling back and forth.
Yeah.
To like carry their stuff or whatever, but then that would very quickly be noticed if that one's missing.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't be with the main group.
Yep.
Which, I mean, yeah, heck, we could still go in and try to catch one of those personal slaves.
Yep.
Or the personal attendants, right?
Yes, I think that would be the big thing right there. Is you would take their personal attendant rather than a slave that they brought all the way and stuff.
Right.
You'd have to take a personal attendant. Which would be somebody who is a slave but is like the numbers or the counter or whatever, and something like that, which they may be close to the gates. You know what I mean? They may be logging and documenting and stuff. That would be a possibility.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
we'd have to find somebody who looks miserable though, because if you're in that kind of elite position, like we would want to look for a grunt. We would want to look for somebody who's like,
yeah,
oh, this person has to like carry the armor of the drow, or they have to be the ones that are like carrying the if the priestess comes, you know, they carry her chair, or the supply, like they pull the supply wagons back and forth kind of thing, right? So I would think like a counter, someone who's allowed to be unchained more or less, and on the outside they're probably pretty well trusted and they probably like their gig.
Ooh, okay. I think he has like a list of people and stuff, because he kind of like draws out some pictures and
right
stuff.
Well, and he would know,
like, because he's gone through and he's traded a good amount of people and stuff, and so he's seen who is and who isn't and stuff like that, and the people he's chatted to. I'll go ahead and give you a list once we get there closer to it, okay? But he that starts sitting down, and Kwando is going to start writing down names and documenting information and stuff, okay, for that. Okay,
cool. And then once we get that, we'll
Toggle kind of ups over to you and he says, do you really think we should keep trusting this guy? Get rid of him as soon as we can. Let the drow deal with him. She'll make us sneak through the gates. What?
Let's just say you haven't exactly been stealthy under pressure lately.
He's like,
I don't know, Toggle. I feel like something's changed.
What do you mean?
With him.
All of a sudden you hear Kwando kind of speak up, and he says, why don't you tell her about why the ghost didn't come after you? And then Toggle kind of flips around, and then he jumps at Kwando. Okay? Crashing into the desk and smashing into it, okay? We're going to go ahead and roll for a skill to kind of try to figure the situation out, okay? He throws Kwando across the room. Kwando gets up and he's yelling at Toggle and he's telling you, he's like, um, um, you think that I'm not hiding, I'm hiding something. You're the one that's hiding something, you rat of a goblin. And then he charges toward Toggle and stuff. And then Toggle is kind of fuming and kind of grabbing stuff and throwing it at him. Okay, cool. What are you gonna do? You can try to roll for an influence, but somebody's gonna take some damage and stuff.
Yeah.
Once again, you can hear at the doorknob a jingling. It appears to be something. Somebody's maybe fiddling with the doorknob. Okay? Cool. This is fun.
Yeah.
I mean, as a DM, I just like.
I'm kind of tempted to just let them hash it out.
Hash it out. But you do know that there is something happening. Okay? The way that Seamuck, the keep fella, had looked at you, he informed me basically that there is somebody here that is out for you. Okay? And I don't know how it's going to go if... Here.
Can I just like go up to the door with my sword and then just like stab it through?
That is an option. That pretty much. I didn't expect you to do that, but if that's what you're doing, can't say no. The door is pretty hard. Like it's not something like
stabbing. Yes, stabbing. I like to stab. Yes.
As they're kind of ruffling and throwing each other across the room and cursing at each other. You can see Toggle like on the back of Kwando and just with his mouth like ripping into his shoulder, biting at him and scratching him.
I'm just gonna be like, shh.
And they're still going, they're ruffling and stuff, okay? But you can see the door still kind of twisting and moving and stuff. And then you can see what appears to be like a little metal kind of a stick clicking and scratching. Okay?
Somebody's trying to pick the lock.
Pretty much. And then go ahead and roll for an attack. Just kind of see if you can.
I'm not really gonna do that. But I'm gonna be ready.
Oh, man.
But I'm gonna draw my sword. Shh. Does that get the boys' attention? Can I...
Roll for influence.
Yeah.
Roll for influence, please.
Okay. 17.
17.
And I'm just gonna be like, I'm gonna have my eyes just locked on this door.
Yep. All of a sudden, Toggle's on top of Kwando, and Kwando just quickly just chucks him off, and he crashes into some boxes, and then he kind of like growls, and then he kind of like looks over at you, and then he's about to say something, and then he kind of pauses.
And
Toggle races up, and then he quickly they grab each other, okay, and they stop.
And I'm like,
Kwando kind of lets him go and stuff, and then he steps forward and he says, "That's what I'm worried about."
Is there like a space under the door at all?
Yes.
Can I use my sword very carefully to kind of like get a reflection?
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. Stuff.
Yeah, go for it. Roll for that stealth.
17.
17. You peer your blade under, and you would appear to be able to see two fellas that are talking. The same two brothers that you had seen the other day, who are speaking in, I believe, Undercommon, which you understand. And they're saying to each other, they're waiting for this other brother to kind of like fidgeting and moving with this locking thing. And it's kind of a little bit of a struggle. And then he kind of like turns and he says, "Won't you shut up and let me focus?" And they keep kind of fiddling at it and stuff. And then he finally just pulls the thing out and throws it and stuff. And then the bigger, tougher one kind of pulls out a blade and he holds it up and he says, "Oh, they will have this. We will have Oz." And then he says something about the Javers. Part of the we'll have Oz in the Javas. Kwando knows, and then he kind of stampers off. And then the one that was trying to lockpick and stuff, he gets up, puts his stuff away. The other one kind of then follow.
Mm-hmm. That was convenient that they just left.
Mm-hmm.
The Jabbers, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Where are the Jabbers?
The Jabbers is something that you don't know of.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just very carefully resheath my sword. I'm gonna look over at Kwando.
Something bothering you?
Yeah.
Kind of snarls at Tile.
We cannot afford to be fighting amongst ourselves right now. Okay? I think that we need to take a minute to all come clean and get on the same page. Because if we can't work together here, there is no way that we're going to be able to make it out there. I could care less what is going on in your personal lives. Okay. Toggle. Your dad's been dead for a long time, okay? I'm sorry you're having that issue. But...
Jeez.
Okay. My parents have been dead for a long time too. Huh, what do you know? Something we share in common.
No, he's not actually
I
crying.
know.
He kind of just like turns. You can see him kind of very just solemn. And he just stamps through Kwando, walks over to you, and then just kicks the door, breaks it open and stuff.
That was locked.
It is locked. He broke it open.
Hmm.
And then he just walks and he walks down the hall, up the stairs, and out. I swear that goblin's up to something.
You guys are all, ooh, this person's up to something, that person's up to something. It's driving me crazy. It's just why I want us to talk.
I apologize then. He is something up with him. Not just his craziness, his berserker rage.
His berserker rage is what saved our butts.
Yes, but those ghosts should have had him. Those don't steer away from just anyone. I think he's... And then he looks at you and I think he's cursed. You don't just get curses around here.
I'm just kind of like, really? You think? I mean, I kind of figured that he had some kind of issue going on with him before we even left on this adventure.
Correct.
The first time he went on that berserker mode. Now, I know being cursed is no fun. But I also don't think that that's our biggest issue right now. We are here. We are down here. We are stuck here right now.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, are we going to be able to pull together as a team to make it where we need to go to save your friend? Okay? Or are you two going to be at each other's throats the entire time with the I don't trust him and I don't trust him and this person's crazy and we should kill them and we should... Yeah, are we going to be doing that the whole time?
He kind of steps up to you when he says, I'm willing to put myself through much to get back who I need to get back.
Okay.
Whatever his issue is, we will have to deal with it when it comes.
Uh-oh. X-Bolt cast Vicious Mockery. Is he cute?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. He is good. He is solid. Toggle's the one that's kind of a little bit conflicted.
Right.
Okay.
It's like, you know, hey, I have been through this with my former team where nobody trusts anybody and some people think they're better than others and everything. And once we got on the same page and we were actually working together, we accomplished more than anybody thought we ever could. Mm-hmm. And that right now is my goal. Because if we can't pull it together to accomplish this first thing, then there is no way we're going to make it all the way to Mesmerism. And we may as well just give up.
He looks down at you and says, I'll do my best to respect you, respect your orders of how you want to go about this. I trust your ability. and I want what I want.
We all want what we want.
He then steps closer to you and he looks out the door. And then he says, well, it is time.
Oh, what was that place you were talking about?
Javar. It's called, Javers. Javers.
What are the Jevers?
He kind of steps past you, walks out to the main chamber areas. And then he comes back and he says, we were in there too long. And then you step out. You go forward through the chamber and stuff through the main entrance. It is heavily locked up. What doors that they have, it is barred up, locked up, tight metal, everything, okay? You are not leaving there. And the dining area is completely empty. And you can hear a low humming noise. Well, we have somebody that's calling us to the Javas. It's the catcher's battleground.
Okay, sounds fun.
They want you.
Of course they want me. How do they even... Well, our disguise was not very great.
Yes.
Let's fix that. Let's get disguised up a little bit better.
As you guys walk closer, you can see all the patrons that weren't originally were inside of the dining area are no longer in there, but they are in this downstairs area and stuff where everything else is dark, but except for this chamber is well lit and stuff, and you can just hear the stomping. And they're kind of stomping their feet, letting you know. And then in the middle there is a table, a wooden table with a blade sticking out of it and stuff, and a rag that is caught into it and stuff. What he explained to you, I believe, is basically no weapons but one blade.
Dang it. That's better.
All right then, here we go.
One blade each?
Do you think you're...
One blade total.
And he looks at you and he says, come on. And then he drops his grappling hook. And then there you can see what appears to be the same creatures that originally were there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't suppose there's any health potions.
Well, there's chocolates on the table.
Oh, cool. I'll take those. Those are 1 HP each, right?
Yeah. And Toggle is nowhere to be found, even though he's on the map right here. And with that, we'll go ahead and end it there at that little bit of an ending and stuff. So yeah, so Zira and Kwando are about to go into the Javers for their first ever battle against a bunch of beast-ass creatures, Borns, and fight only using one knife at the center of the table. No health potions. Yeah, I'm super excited to run and have fun with that and see how that all goes.
I'm gonna have to try using some of my class 2 features.
Yeah.
When do we get? Do we get the subclasses? Do I get to level up before I go into this?
I'm hoping. He said the end of the month. We're almost at the end of the month, and I'm like, oh, I want to just give you the, let's call level up abilities. Yeah, because it'd be really fun. But yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for.
It'd be nice.
Yep.
Is that I might actually have a shot.
We are playing DC-20. This is a new gaming system. It's very similar to D&D. Just a little bit of changes, a little bit of differences that make the gaming mechanics so much easier. So we've enjoyed playing it, and now we're getting to run it through and stuff through our stories. We hope that you guys enjoyed watching. We kind of try to just have a relaxed atmosphere and just enjoy and to create the story and stuff. We're going to continue doing this every week, usually, and stuff. But yeah, we're super excited, and we're also upgrading all of our system and growing as a channel. So
yep,
stay with us, subscribe, like our videos, comment on our videos. If you didn't like a certain thing or liked a certain thing, please don't. If you don't like something, please don't hate us.
Yeah.
You know, we're just human.
Save it for the chat.
Yeah, save it for the chat. I'm sure this X-Volt guy is going to rip into us.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he gave us the horror face, and
The horror
he
face.
did cast Fish's Mockery. So, terrible. Yeah, I know. I know. It needed something else, like a paladin.
Hmm. Maybe you might
Tiefling.
find a paladin. You never know.
Tiefling paladin.
You have a mixture of people and stuff. The way that I kind of play it is both of her friends Toggle and Kwando are both kind of like a mix. I don't have character sheets for them. She only has a character sheet for herself, and I kind of play their abilities out. I utilize actions to make them have fun and stuff. So yeah,
Hmm.
it's a lot of fun to go through and do. And yeah.
Probably do actually need 3 paladins with how much we get hurt now.
Yeah, yeah, good like that. So yeah, hopefully she'll make it into Mensa Marenzen one of these days.
I'm sure I'll make it in one way
Yeah,
or the other, just whether or not I go willingly.
yeah.
Yeah, you go to try to break this person out. You fail horribly. You are now slaves and have been captured, and here we go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you do all that planning and stuff, and then you might just be caught by these guys. These guys that are trying to.
I roll. That's a 2.
I know. Cool. Hey, thanks for watching. We hope that you guys enjoy. Like I said, like and subscribe and stuff. And we'll see you X-Bolt on Friday.
Yep.
Viewer.
Friday.
Yeah, we'll see you guys the next
Like
time
the,
when we
IT
do our show. Yeah.
The IT team will
They'll figure out the lag and audio.
yes, fix that. That'll be our focus.
You need to get away from OBS.
All right.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.